They're all upstairs. Yeah, then that should be the most updated one. Is that the one that's up?
Oh, you see shadow now? Pardon me?
Yeah. I can see both sides of that one because, like, it is a lot of work. Because I saw my parents yesterday.
I agree. I agree with that. Are we done with the cloth?
The good thing is with the retirement community, most of the other they wanted to fix what they could.
We're trying to fix the lights. So if they fix the lights up back on, then we'll need to rework them.
At the same time, you did all that work, and they say you didn't do the work. Change a few words. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, for the school to be.
I just want to do this issue.
This way? This way?
And the air and the
I will. Okay. I see you say, where's my camera? Let's stay there.
What are you going to do?
I am.
That is today.
No, that's the old.
No, that's today. I put it up.
He's the one.
Oh, okay. All right.
You have something else?
Sorry, that's all.
Oh, no, yeah.
This is Mayor Bowser press conference. That's not. Same kind of thing.
Well, frame around.
So if you can help it,
You have it in the box?
similar to now.
Can you sit down and frame up?
That's not like haircut.
What's to the right? Go to keyboard. Take the to the right. Yeah, right there. How's that? Go to the right. The left before. She's trying to humor you now. She's trying to humor you now. Use the clicker.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
Stand right here and look straight down and tell me how that light is hitting your eyes. Which one?
Yeah.
It's really bright. It's a little like. That's what it is. It's like headache, like right? Headache, right? Can we point it more up or something? It's like right. It's literally right in my face. David. But maybe if I look straight. I can't see a thing.
I did.
I'm blind. I'm blinded. But if I'm looking down.
I didn't know that.
Stand right here. Tell me if that's too much. It's fine. It's fine. Are you able to bring it down? Are you able to bring the lights down? Are you able to bring the lights down?
I've only gone to one casting. Yeah, it was really fun.
These are new lights? No, we just don't have lights in the room right now. And so they had to put these on. We tried them, but yeah, I mean it's fine. It's bright, but you can't bring it down. It is bright. It blinds you actually. It like makes the room dark. You're not so that you're supposed to walk around. No. I'm asking. You see, like, stand at this podium for me. If you're at the podium talking, if you're at the podium talking, look at these lights. Does it
Don't bother me.
bother you?
No, I mean, we can't go any lower because our complexion.
We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it.
Yeah,
She's
she
used to it. She'll be used to it.
There you go.
The conference, I mean, just this one apparently is like,
Yeah. Well, you just gotta look. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Restrictions are the ones that, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the better now. For a long time. Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's too like almost like. I was like,
Michael?
I left my house.
You can relax. Good show. Good. You have the opening right? Operations up for 7 years.
You try, well, you know, the kids are older. You try to.
Internal media mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thumbs up. Everybody good? Perfect. Thank you.
You like personality wise and like the little words you would make. So like it's kind of it's like very but it's good to see like kids actually like engage in conversation. Like
You know, I noticed he kept looking away. He said, I know.
oh really? I didn't know
Basically, the older one, that's my dad.
I think we could go
He just started
so on
driving.
so low. Oh, it's good. Nice to see you. Saturday night, Sunday night.
Okay. That's it. Really.
I swear, every time this kid tries to make big plans, it starts to survive. It's the worst part.
Yeah. One day where you.
They deserve themselves. Yeah. The older
For a
one.
minute, yeah.
His high school was like 40.
Yeah, I think we did like
Not quite
Like 288.
yeah.
You got on the meeting pad?
Yeah.
So, did you have the meeting? How's it? There was a truck up there. That's why I drove. Yeah. So it was like, and we got stuff
I didn't love it. It sounds like you've been great.
Well, how are you?
I'm good. You doing okay? Yeah. You doing okay? All right. How are you doing? Can't complain.
Because we drove around one time, I was like, man, I was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, if I get those tracks, I'll be all right. So I was trying to.
Oh, yeah,
I just had to do that. That's okay. How many people do you hit the brakes and do little skids? I'm just like, that's a few first.
Oh my God, I like that.
I guess those forwards a little higher than the escapes.
Yeah. Yeah, I do see a little higher.
Yeah. Exploring.
They were on the before I realized I learned to go to church is the lady who's house for like goes to my church. So a friend of hers who was talking to yesterday said Torres is the one who told her. Really? Called her. She was a long I guess. He's like, I guess he didn't realize she didn't know. He was like, that's your house, you know, and so. I know. That's Torres. Forms are covers under here. Yeah.
Podium check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good? Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. Waking up
So it's just, oh, there it is. Yeah, not really. Yeah, thank you. I know her. Yeah, that's
We shared a lot of stuff. Because he did, but it's I started to get work half hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny
For us now, we're doing more flips, so we're always like out about a hill or like something along that line. Like we're not facing flashing lights.
How you like that?
Not as much as I used to.
more. It's like you know, it's
Like 30 seconds and like, that's great. 28. Right.
I still regret not
Yeah.
He said that after the fact, once the story aired, everyone was concerned that someone like breaking into any books when other people.
Oh yeah, we've only got 6 right now, but I'm making more. You want to split it maybe, and then I'll make one out.
If you have it,
I haven't remembered what they were to say.
Right. Here you go.
I'll make it video.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one. There you go. They're all individual slides. That's what it's.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, if everyone could remain seated for now. Top block cameras.
They're all professional. Well, that's not good.
All right, I mean,
It's just like if it's a battery pack or something.
yeah. They're all individual slides. I don't know why.
No, that's good. I got it.
Usually have it.
Where's that?
Now you know what the teacher
But I don't remember. I don't remember it.
No, how you doing?
I mean, all the hotels are too short. They do.
Yeah.
But you do better fly in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get the first flight out.
It's the wind truck. We got one of those.
Yeah.
They put it on.
Yeah, I got you. 24.
I tried in the lounge. Like 1 a.m.
That makes sense.
Compass is that front. But yeah, they're working on the alley. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
Just go on one day.
They left to Dubai, Thailand.
I heard this is highly
I know. I was like,
Yeah, that's what they say. I told them I was like, I want to come here.
So my emails, I don't know if I. SCC, Suzanne, I might CC Suzanne. Absolutely. Oh, the appointments? Yes, I did see it. So what time? Is that for today or what's your? I'll make sure you're free.
Are you like your side of the park? So you're working ice and stuff?
I mean, I post that out there right now. I'm not walking around blind.
Never know.
Yeah, welcome in there. She's up to there. Say hi. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so great that the city provides so took care of quite a few things. So I can see the passion is all.
Look at what things you need.
I didn't when we made it, when they beat us in the NFC Championship game last year, this one they stopped calling us. Don't worry. I didn't know all this. I didn't take I can say twice.
He takes it by blocking.
Yeah. I'm in the all I hear is back of me is calling. So I'm like, what's that girl doing?
I pitch. I'm trying to.
I went back and forth between you and every.
I put four. Yeah, I get
You all good?
I would not have. You have two. I do. Great. That's a date.
Remember it forever.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean,
Copy that. There. Keep me honest. You like it?
You're fine. Don't worry. You're fine. You got Eagles fan, right? Oh, there you go.
Click it the button.
Actually, I don't know. I'd like to see
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't mess that up every day. I've had technical difficulties. So this like really senior stuff.
Yeah,
I've got so much.
yeah, like meanwhile, like remember the context of bringing like their own song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. One 2-minute warning. Go ahead and down. Alexis.
Did Mendelssohn note say he doesn't know why we're like doing never move from the corners, etc.?
Yeah.
It's like this is the most popular thing that we're doing right now.
Yeah. He was like, he's from New York.
Yeah.
In the streets
Some extent. That's funny.
Oh. Good morning, everyone. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm joined by members of my senior team, and we are providing an operations update on our the city's response in our operations in response to this winter storm. So as I have previously reported from here, and we all know now, we've had a unprecedented snow event in some ways in the context
how the snow came down. The snow, then multiple hours of sleet and freezing rain, followed by an historic run in our city of below freezing temperatures. And those are the conditions we are responding to. I remain very grateful for the Herculean efforts of our snow team. That includes DC DPW, DOT, and DGS, and so many of our operational units within the government. So I want to say thank you to them for addressing our roads and transportation network and getting DC open. We're just going to talk about some progress that we've made since we last were together. Over the weekend, we distributed salt at 6 sites across the city for DC residents, and more than 4,000 residents were served at those 6 locations. So I want to thank all of the volunteers that assembled, and I want to thank all of the residents who rallied to get there to get the salt to address their own sidewalks. I also want to just thank all the residents who took advantage of some sunlight that came out over the weekend to remove snow and ice from their sidewalks, which is going to make this week so much easier for students and folks getting to work. I also want to thank GARD members who came out to some of those sites and also address some sidewalks and crosswalk clearing throughout the city. And so we also want to talk about some progress we made this weekend, getting snow cleared from our streets, particularly a hauling operation, which is giving us more clearance on our major roadways. So I'm going to ask Director Kirschbaum to address that.
Thank you, Mayor. We are making really great progress opening up our principal arterials. These are also roads that have significant bus service and are heavy commercial corridors. We've added a number of other principal arterials to our initial list. So in addition to Connecticut, Wisconsin, 16th, and Georgia, we've added some key other east-west. We've got U Street, H Street Northeast, Military Road, North Capitol. We're trying to open up all of the travel lanes on this next tranche of major arterials. Downtown, we're continuing to clear out other segments, again, to help for pedestrian and transit access. The hauling operation has been considerable. We've already closed. It's 22 acres at the UMC campus. We had filled that completely. We are using Carter Barron today. We're at about 50% full. We think by the end of day tomorrow we'll be full there. And then lot 6 at RFK, we think that will get us through midweek, and we'll then look to lot 8 at RFK. So the amount of snow is tremendous. We are really grateful that we have that space and trying to get it off the roadways where we can. In terms of WMATA, continuing to travel all routes with no detours. All shelters have been cleared and about 550 stops have been opened up. We are also taking a look and have a map coming soon to show which bike lanes are open as well. And on the residential roads, we are really doing an eye on all of them, QA, QC, across the entire network today. We are being very targeted. We know salting and plowing in some cases is having limited impact. So where we really need to, and we're down to a very small number, we will add bobcats to really try to dig out that snowcrete. But for the most part, things are accessible, and as soon as you get to the collectors and arterials, you're really able to get where you need to go. That's all from me, Mayor. Thank you.
So last week, we also announced our trash schedule. schedule. And I'm grateful to the men and women of DPW and all of the agencies that are supporting them to get back to normal with trash. Midweek, DPW crews began collecting from our litter cans. Those are the city cans that you see usually on major roads around bus stops. By the end of the week, they started doing that 2 a day. By Friday, DPW crews were testing, making pathways into alleys. And on Saturday and Sunday, DPW did front side pickup on 2 major routes, their Monday and Tuesday routes, as well as going in to begin to clear pathways and alleys for their Monday and Tuesday routes. So I'm going to ask Director Crispino to give some details about that.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say that DPW has done something that we've never done before. And with the continued support of the mayor and the hardworking men and women comprising the SNOW team, I'm happy to report that we began the Bobcat operation at the beginning of the weekend. We ran 24/7 over the weekend to open the access that the mayor is referring to into the alleyways. And that we are now at the point where all of the Monday alleys that have trash and recycling collections are now accessible by crews. That doesn't necessarily mean that the trucks will be going into the alleys. This will be a manual process, but we are able to get into all of the Monday routes. And the operation has been so successful that we have actually already gotten to the point where more than 50% of the Tuesday alleyway routes are now also accessible, and we will continue to work 24/7 until Tuesday is complete, and then we will continue in chronological order. In addition, throughout the weekend, we ran 2 12-hour shifts to clear public litter cans. And then we also began front-side collections. So on Saturday and Sunday, we ran the Monday and Tuesday routes, which enabled us to get to in excess of 25,000 households to reduce the amount of refuse that was building up and bring some relief to the residents. Today, we began normal collections for both front and rear collections on Monday routes. And in that regard, if you have, you're on a Monday route and you have frontside trash, your trash and recycling will be collected today. If tomorrow, Tuesday routes, same thing, we'll get to your front sides for trash and recycling, and we'll continue with the front side collection in order. As it pertains to the alleys, because we have never attempted this before, we are working as hard as we can. So if you are not on a Monday route, you are encouraged to put your trash in the alleyway as best you can. Please leave it there. The crews will come through. We will get there. It's just a matter of figuring out how long this manual process will take, but we are not going to stop until we get to everybody's trash. So please, when it's your day, put your trash out. We will get to it. If it gets to more than 2 days, then we would ask you to go into the 311 system and put in a service request so that we can start to get data so that we can track accountability and where we need to direct resources. But again, our intent is to run through the entire trash cycle this week. Front sides will all be touched, and we will continue working through the alleyways until we are able to get all of the trash up. I'm also happy to report that based on the SNOW team's work on the roadways, compost collection has resumed on front side, and that we will have more updates regarding alley side collection as we continue to cut the paths into the alley and we work with our contractor on their ability to access the rear compost bins. But at this point, front side has resumed. Put your bins out, we'll get to them. So what's coming up next? Our enforcement teams will start to go out today. We are starting an education push, and I'm referring to the sidewalk clearing. Under the regulations, if you are a homeowner, property owner, you have 24 hours technically under the after the cessation of snowfall to clear your pathways. We haven't been out enforcing, but we are going to start. It's been long enough after the storm that you should be able to get to that, especially since the temperatures are starting to adjust, and it's been so long after the storm. So what does that mean? Our folks are going to be out there, and initially we're going to be distributing flyers with the requirements of the regulation and what you need to do. Once you have had an opportunity to get at it, if your sidewalk hasn't been cleared, we will then move either to warnings or NOIs depending on the situation and as warranted. So please, I just want to stress, please get out there, get your sidewalks cleared. The areas that we're going to initially focus on will be around public schools, libraries, senior homes, and commercial corridors. And I believe that's all I have to brief, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, and I wanted to just turn to Director Hines briefly to mention what DACL has done in meal delivery.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. On Friday, January 30th, the Department of Aging and Community Living, alongside our Senior Service Network and the DC Fire EMS Department via their mobile integrated health unit, we were able to deliver over 900 meals to our seniors. Seniors were able to come to over 40 community dining sites and pick up 3 grab-and-go meals. If they were unable to go to one of the sites, that's when we leveraged our partnerships across government and our senior service network and made door-to-door deliveries. I'd like to acknowledge that partnership with DC FEMS because in addition to delivering grab-and-go meals, they also did fire safety checks in the homes of our seniors. Thank you.
Director Freeman, is she with us? Director Freeman, if you could just talk a little bit about the status of our DPR sites.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. All of our DPR sites opened Tuesday, and all of our sites have been fully operational since Thursday. Our swimming opens up at 6 a.m. We've welcomed residents across all our senior programming as well as after-school programming, providing meals and shelter and respite for families during hypothermia. We're finding that members of the public are coming into our facilities for warming spaces as well. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And then I think we want to turn to the forecast for the week and our posture moving forward. So let me ask Clint Osborne from HCMA to talk a little bit about this week's forecast.
Thank you, Mayor. So as the team has said, we have seen sun last week and into this week. We do expect this week to have favorable conditions for more melting. What that means is you'll see higher daytime temperatures that'll boost when they mixed with the salt that we've already got on the ground, will increase melting. But overnight, we are going to continue to see very, very low temperatures throughout the week, and we do have a chance of a snow Tuesday night and into Wednesday. When we experience these long periods of cold temperatures, as the mayor said, almost 150 years since we've had this kind of stretch, combined with the incredible winds we saw in parts of the district this weekend, you get really low wind chill temperatures. And what that means is you can have additional water main breaks and residential pipes that burst. We have seen a number of water main breaks that we're working with DC Water with throughout this weekend. I'm pleased to tell you that they were expected. We always expect water main breaks during the winter, but we are not seeing significantly more water main breaks than we would normally see during the winter and under these conditions, and that is a really important point. There are a couple of things that residents can do to protect your internal pipes. The first is you can drip water through your pipe at a low rate. It just keeps the pressure from building up and bursting a pipe if you do get ice buildup. And the second thing you can do is you can open your sink cabinets and just make sure that you're keeping your house at a consistent temperature day and night to make sure that your pipes, especially your faucet pipes, continue to keep moving and don't freeze over. If you do experience a loss of service, we'd ask you to report it to DC Water as quickly as possible, and the information is behind me on the screen for you to do that.
Just a couple more updates. Delano Hunter and his team have been responsible for making sure all government facilities are accessible. That includes all of our public safety facilities as well as our bus depots and our schools. Delano.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Delano Hunter, and I serve as the Director of the D.C. Department of General Services. And our purview includes approximately 500 district government facilities. And the way that we've thought about this storm and this cold weather streak is like a 1-2 punch, with the first punch being a snowcrete, which we've been able to successfully remove at the vast majority or all of our locations, although that work continues to do additional passes and provide supplemental clearance. But the second punch is really the extended cold weather. So it has been hand-to-hand combat for our HVAC systems and our boiler systems. When you have extreme temperatures and systems are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you will see failures, specifically around our older facilities with aging infrastructure. We've been able to install contingencies, bring some of those systems back online, and then relay that information to our partners so they can make operational decisions. What we do, we classify those in one of two categories. Typically red. Red means that a big box space, the majority of those rooms are offline, and then yellow, where there's a smaller subset, maybe a wing or several rooms. So that information continues. We did 24-hour digital and in-person monitoring over the weekend. We cleared ice on rooftops to be able to access rooftop units. Sometimes the blockage from ice was responsible, and that work will continue. We'll bring on additional contracting support. In-house teams have been working around the clock as well, and that work will continue until we have some relief from the extreme cold temperatures.
Okay, and so today our schools opened at a 2-hour with a 2-hour delay. I was pleased to see that a good number of the public charter schools that didn't open last week also opened today. And on Tuesday, DC public schools will open on time, as DC government opened on time today. So with that, we will take a few questions. Yes. Yeah. Raphael, sorry.
A quick update regarding just, I know you were also looking into facilities in terms of like heating, but like an update on schools that I know you were monitoring. Is there an update? Are all the schools kind of taking care of what the strategy is? Because I know when people, parents, the first concern is, oh, is my kid, in a warm facility? Just an update on that, if we could.
The first concern of parents is that their kids are in school. And so we were proud to get open. We're grateful to all of the adults that make that happen. You heard from DGS, but we have our teachers, all of the support staff, school leadership, who have been very focused on welcoming everybody back, our bus drivers who are responsible for a good number of our routes, and our Metro bus drivers that transport a lot of our kids to school. So a lot of adults have been focused and working hard as well. Is your question about if we've had any heating issues?
Well, there have been several reported, but just any updates about like how those are kind of play out. I know Director Hunter mentioned just kind of how they're categorized and kind of where those specifically DCPS facilities, how they fall into that plan.
I don't know. Okay, let me ask Delano to talk about specific schools.
Sure. The updates are coming in real time. What we've seen, I'll tell you more broadly, is that with our 24-hour checks, it wasn't uncommon. If a site is up at 10 p.m., you could have issues overnight. Staff are on site as early as 3 a.m. Addressing many of those sites. And again, in terms of there being any cold red schools or schools that are completely without heat, that's not the case. We do have issues throughout where there's a subset of classrooms. And typically what we do, if a school is down, first goal is to get it back up. If an extended repair is needed, then the second option or the second move is to install contingencies, sometimes hanging heaters, which may require heavy up, more electrical support to be able to support learning in those spaces. And the goal is for learning is typically about 68 degrees, right? The third option in the event that we aren't able to be successful with contingencies or repair is to advise DCPS so they can then make operational changes. Sometimes they'll combine classrooms. Sometimes they'll move to larger spaces like libraries and cafeterias to facilitate learning. So that's typically the cadence for how we address schools.
My question is for DDOT Director Kirschbaum. I know you mentioned maybe doing some more of the Bobcat enforcement, but for some of these smaller streets where cars have to be parked there, that's where people live, and so you can't really get rid of some of the snow. I mean, what's the plan there so that snow is not there for weeks and weeks to come, blocking the lanes?
What's the plan to do what?
Is there anything that can be done for those areas where you can't really get machinery or maybe even Bobcats through with cars parked?
Are you asking about digging out cars?
No, I'm just saying, like, I know personally and everybody else, you're driving down some of these smaller neighborhood roads that are super narrow, but because cars are parked there, there's mounds of snow in between the cars and the roadways. Like, what can be done to open those lanes up so people can drive through better?
I think that we have addressed a lot of those streets that you are referring to. When we talked on Friday, I think we had like over 100 such lanes that we were really concerned about. And I think over the weekend, we've just made a tremendous amount of progress. If you're asking if can haul snow off of side streets, that's not our current plan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
So I'm asking this question in the context of school choice. A lot of our students are coming across the city to go to school. What is the set of criteria that determines whether to open schools versus doing 2-hour delay? Like, what are the factors that dictate that?
On time versus 2-hour delay? I can't tell you that it's all science, but these are the factors. First, can we get open? It depends on the work of DGS and the snow team in clearing around our facilities. And so we know that our students and staff can access the facilities. That includes our walkways, that include parking areas for teachers, and the like, and the sidewalk areas around the school. Then we have to see if our kids can use the bus. And once Metro had all of our bus routes up, and that was last Thursday, we were able to open schools because our kids that aren't in their neighborhood school could take the bus. And Metro was pretty much 97% open on bus routes on last Wednesday, and 100% on school bus routes on Thursday, and that helps us open. The decision to open later today is to give, frankly, our staff more time to navigate wherever they're coming from to get to school. And to understand, and once they do that today, they can figure out how long it's going to take them tomorrow and be at school on time.
One last question.
Yep.
Can you provide a bit of context around the opening of the RISE demonstration salt collection site? Why that one opened later versus the original 4 or 5?
Sure. So we didn't open 8. We didn't open 1 per ward. We opened 5 because that's frankly what we could support. And then when we realized that we had higher demand in that area, we were able to open there. So there was not one open, for example, in Ward 4, but Ward 4 residents were close to both the one that was open at Jackson Reed and the one that was open in Turkey Thicket. Similarly, I don't think we opened one in Ward 1, but it was very close to the Kennedy Rec and the Turkey Thicket. So we adjusted, and I want to thank all of our teams. I think Director Freeman and the new Soul of the City bid were our lead volunteers for that effort, along with my team. Yes, Mark.
A couple questions. One, have there been any deaths attributed to the weather thus far?
Mark, I didn't report on that because it's not confirmed, but sadly, we think the answer is yes. We are investigating at least 2 deaths and maybe 3 or 4.
Are these all separate incidents?
Yes.
Can you... do they seem to be people who were unhoused?
At least 2, and probably all of the suspicious deaths are related to unhoused residents. And I want some confirmation before I report that.
And then can I ask for some clarity on the fines? The director said you're going to start doing an education process,
Yes.
and then warnings and fines. Do you have a date set when you will start fining either businesses and or residents again?
We don't. We are putting our personnel out on the street now, and we want to get some intelligence from that outreach. The goal is not to fine our residents or businesses, but make sure they know that they have to clear their sidewalks. And we think that the temperatures will be, this stretch of 3 days are the most favorable temperatures to do that.
And then if I could just have one more
Sure.
On the dumping at the separate sites, I guess you're talking about 4 sites all told, right? In 2016, when the city did this, this became an environmental concern when everything was being dumped at RFK, that once it started melting, there would be a lot of nasty runoff into the Anacostia, particularly down there. Department of Environment, DC Water, all raised red flags. I'm just wondering what precautions you're taking this time around, if any, to mitigate.
Who's the best person
Thank
to
you.
answer? Okay.
And Mark, thanks for raising that. We are well aware of those concerns, so we did partner with DOE, had contractors come out, both at Lot 6, UMC, and Carter Barron to set up those safeguards. And those are things to protect the drainage and to have other materials surrounding the area. I actually have some more specific details, but not off the top of my head. But we did make sure that they were the adequate safeguards needed to avoid any concerns once the melting starts. Yes.
In terms of the shoveling, last week I did a story on heart attacks and shoveling.
Yes.
Wondering about, is it really such a threat? Turns out, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And for even as people as young as, and I say that as a geezer, 45 years old. I'm curious about the Snow Heroes program. Are you having success getting more people coming out and growing that? I know we have always had a large aging population in DC, and they have a lot of services for them. But is there a way to broaden that?
Yes, there's always a way to broaden it, and we'll certainly look at ways. Our Snow Heroes, you know, they did amazing work, but they ran into the same conditions as everyone else. So that's what I would say. But let me turn to our fire chief to talk about, you know, what can be very unfortunate. In every snow event, we see somebody get sick.
So good evening or good afternoon, everybody. John Donnelly, Chief DC Fire and EMS. We are responding to more calls with people outside doing things. We haven't had any specific heart attack related calls that I'm aware of, but I would just remind everybody to take breaks while you're doing it, dress appropriately. You can still get dehydrated in this weather, so you should drink, and everybody should learn hands-on heart CPR in case something does happen.
Okay, I'll take a couple more. Yes, Martin.
Martin,
so obviously this storm aligns with campaign season. Lots of people out there running for office have a lot of opinions about how things are handled, what they're seeing on the ground. You've been through a number of storms in your 12 years in office. What's a piece of advice that you would give to the folks who are looking to replace you, who are inevitably going to face their own storms and their own criticisms for how they respond to the storms?
I would tell them to be careful what they are saying right now, and honestly, everybody. I don't want to make comments about politics. I'm a politician, so I get it. But I have been able to work with all the council members on a number of issues. And I would hope that they would continue to work cooperatively with my office. I have personally briefed our oversight chair for DPW, who I think has been constructive.
And then one quick one for Director Kirschbaum. Can you just quickly recite the numbers again of the sites that are being used to dump the snowcrete and like how full those sites are now? I think you mentioned you were starting to use Carter Barron, but another 22-acre site is at capacity. Just kind of give us those numbers.
Sure, and I actually think we have a slide that gives that information as well. Carter Barron is about 50% full. We're looking at about 30 trucks an hour that are coming through. So continuing that pace, we think we'll be able to use it into midday tomorrow. Lot 6, we also think through midweek, we'll be able to continue to use that space. And then we're planning to open Lot 8 in tandem with as we wind down Lot 6 space. And we think Lot 8 will get us through the end. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, UMC, has already been closed because we have filled it up. It's about 22 acres. And so we are no longer diverting trucks there. Yes.
Yep. Mayor, actually, to what you were just commenting about with regard to politics, there's an article in the Washington Post that comments on some council members accusing the city of gaslighting families. And it says in the article here that with a lot of students going back with little or no heat, even as city officials touted a swift reopening, at least 10 of DCPS's 117 schools experienced HVAC failures affecting classrooms or entire buildings, according to school leaders, parents, and internal communications reviewed by the Washington Post. Can we get an update? And we were out there on Friday seeing just how difficult it was for families to get in. Do you think the city owes these families an apology for how all of this has gone, even though people
for
have been
opening
working
schools?
hard?
No, we don't owe an apology for opening schools. And when it's record cold weather and facilities this large, there are frequently heating failures. But the fact that we were open Thursday and Friday, we knew what they were. We didn't have empty buildings all weekend. And we worked quickly to respond. And I don't think that we've had to close because of heating. So I would say you mentioned 10 schools out of over 100 schools, and we're responding just as quickly as possible.
Do you know all those 10 been addressed? There are no full buildings. I know the director said there may be classrooms, but there are no full buildings.
I'll
right
ask
now.
Director Hunter to respond.
Thank you.
That information was provided to the reporter in real time. What he chose to report on, I can't necessarily speak to. We did our best to contextualize it, right? There's a difference if a school has 5 or 6 classrooms down versus an entire school, right? So we attempted to contextualize. We're always dealing with issues at a myriad of locations, but that information was provided to the reporter. And again, he chose to report on what he chose to report on.
Now that there are no full school buildings that have HVAC issues.
I can't confirm. I can't confirm as of this press conference. Again, if a school is down, there are contingencies in place, right? Which are hanging heaters. We've done electrical upgrades, et cetera. I can't confirm that is the case.
Thank you. And then there are also council members for the mayor, or I don't know if DPW wants to address this, but there are council members, at least 2 of them, who have said publicly that a big issue for slow snow removal had to do with smaller plows breaking down. We're hearing from DPW that's not the case. Can someone talk to us about it?
Yeah, you would have to ask them where they're getting that information. We always have, when you have a fleet, there will be vehicles that go down. I wonder if, is a small plow a match for iced over snow? At some point, the answer is no. So I don't know if that's what they meant. You would have to ask them what they mean by that. But I think we feel pretty good about where the equipment is and our ability to have added more equipment. And I'll just say this, the fact that we have been able to get this equipment is not a mistake, and it actually is part of our plan. Before the storm arrived, we had begun priming our pump, if you will, of the contract equipment that we could get our hands on, so that we would be first in line and could have access to that equipment. Yes.
I know a lot of people are finding it easier to get around the city than they did just a few days ago, but one group of people who might still be struggling are folks with disabilities. I know you have the Snow Team Heroes, and the city has advertised other ways that people can seek help digging out or getting around, but can you just share what's available for folks who are having particular challenges right now with that?
For needing help to dig out? The program that we have available is our snow team, and for people, as has been mentioned, there are also food deliveries and the like that we can facilitate.
Okay. And I know that every year you budget for snow, but obviously not knowing how much is going to happen. What the Director Christino described over the weekend, 24 hours running, that has to have a cost. And I'm wondering if you know whether you're under, over, at what you budgeted for snow.
Oh, we will tap our contingency funds to support the snow response, as we would do in any case if we have extraordinary snow.
And those contingency funds come from?
Sorry?
Where are those contingency funds?
Oh, we have a number of reserve funds in the district. Kevin, you want to talk about where our funds are? They're extraordinarily well-funded reserves.
We budgeted about $7 million in DPW's budget for snow. And remember, we've had years where we've had no significant snow event at all. We've had years like this where we have a major one. When this is arriving, we tapped a $20 million tapped $20 million from our contingency cash reserve. So we have 4 reserves. 2 of them are for unexpected, non-recurring events like large snowstorms. That is, it's filled by year-end underspending or surplus, and it's, as the financial audit just concluded, that essentially is going to be full. So there's not a question about whether there's available funding in the contingency cash reserve. It is meant to allow a city to be able to be nimble and respond to unexpected events like large snowstorms.
So could you put dollar amounts? You said you tapped 20 million earlier and you had budgeted 7. Does that mean so far you've spent 27 million?
No, it doesn't.
Can you give a dollar amount? Do you have a dollar?
No, we won't be able to. We won't even finish summarizing until we're finished the response. Yes.
I wanted to piggyback off Mark's question earlier about the teams going out today to remind people to clear the sidewalks. Are they giving a time frame, like you have 24 hours, you have the next few days while it's warm? Are they telling them?
We have put up, and we can share the flyer with you about what their responsibility is, and that what our teams will be sharing with them.
And I know you said you don't want to give people tickets, but if you ultimately did, what is the ticket for that? How much money?
I believe for residential areas, it's $25, and then for commercial entities, I believe it's $150.
Okay. Last 2. Yep.
Mayor, quick follow-up regarding the deaths. Obviously, they're being investigated. How many more people sought shelter in D.C. during this period?
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Pierre, DHS Director. So let me just start by saying what we've been doing to prepare for the snow. So we have outreach 365 days a year, so this is year-round. We've constituted our outreach since before the snow. We had extended outreach in the evenings and in the weekends, not just homeless street outreach, as well as shelter hotline that continue to operate 24/7. We do know that we have a number of residents who continue to choose not to come in. We've also made available warming buses to bring warmth to those in areas where we know that we have a concentration of unsheltered folks who continue to not come in. So we continue also to check on people, coordinate with our partners at Department of Behavioral Health to assess people when they don't want to come in. So this outreach, whether it's homeless outreach or shelter transportation, has continued and will continue. I think your question about how many people have come in. So right now we have over 1,700 beds. I can tell you from activated. I can tell you from the beginning of the storm, as of last week, we had an additional 100 or so folks who had not come in before, and that number continues to grow. So we do know that our outreach has been working because we do have additional numbers of beds used.
First, I saw a tweet from a New York Times reporter with a seating chart for the Alfalfa Club dinner on Saturday, and saw that you were at the head table with the president and several other cabinet members. I know we probably all want to be a fly on that wall. So I guess I'm just wondering what you can share about whether you spoke with the president or any other cabinet members.
Well, I can't share anything. As you know, it's off the record dinner. I probably have attended 10 times in my time as mayor.
And in terms of the bill, the disapproval resolution moving through Congress this week, how concerned are you about the impact that might have on the city's budget if they were to decouple?
Well, I know that the CFO and the chairman have kind of been leading this effort in discussions with the Congress. I plan to have some follow-up conversations with them. Last question. Sam.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
An off topic in regards to the DC Historic Preservation Review Board.
Okay.
So we have 3 nominations, 2 civilian, 1 architectural. And there was some concern last year, but the latter part of last year, that the board itself is not representative of the entire district. There seems to be, from what somebody from the Preservation League said, heavy-handed representation from Ward 3. So I'm just trying to get a sense of, among the applicants, how many came from Ward 7 and 8, and why, if any reason, weren't applicants chosen, or was there any effort on your part, or just your part in general, just to get representation from Ward 7 and 8 on that board?
Sure. I don't have that information off the top of my head, so let me get back to you on historic preservation. I will tell you our general approach is to make sure that our 1,700 plus boards and commissions have diversity of all kinds, and geographic diversity is very important to us. Periodically, we report on kind of our ward-based numbers, and I know Steve and his team would be happy to share that with you. But let me follow up with you on that board. I just don't have it off the top of my head. Okay, thank you, everybody.
We now return to our previously scheduled program, already in progress.